we're talking about, diets. We have all these questions and stuff. So the concerns that everybody has, we all go through. And I'm sure a lot of you have done this, a lot of you have gone through this. And is it really for me? Just because it works for someone else doesn't mean it has to work for me. And that's where we need to understand our bodies, ourselves, because we are unique in every sense, and how that can make a difference. But most people do fall off these diets. You start the diet, there's a restriction, you deprive yourself, you get back to cravings, you give in. 3 months, 1 month, 2 weeks, you're back on square one, or life gets in the way, right? You have too many things to do, kids to handle, work, job, whatever there is, and you fall off that. What can I do consistently? There is something that we can do consistently. Unless and until we don't understand what this is, it's hard for us to relate outside. And this just kind of explaining, a lot of the emotions that we go through is a cause of our eating habits, our non-exercise habits, or the habits that we do have. So it really comes from there and here. So we need to understand that. So as a practitioner, that's where I'd like to understand for my clients and for my patients is where they're coming from, what is their stage in life, where they are financially, where they are in relationships, where they are in their life. That's what's causing those results, because most issues in the medical field is compliance. No matter how much we say and how much the doctor tells you, it's the compliance of the patient or the client where they're not complying to what is told. Hey, be on this diet for a longer period of time, because they're forcing themselves or because they're not used to it. So when you understand the basics, you have a better grasp of why am I doing this. And supplements are out there because I've sold supplements for 25 years. Recommended supplements. I've manufactured my own supplements, so I understand the supplement industry inside out. But there's so much out there, right? Nowadays, we're getting these gummies, powders, liquids, ads everywhere. Is it really the right thing for me? And when should I be using these? Most people, again, we're looking on the outside, we're not looking on the inside. This is just a graph or numbers showing what's happening in the US, in our country where we are, how many people are really doing the mind meditations, the yoga, the basic stuff, compared to how many taking our supplements and meds, and they're just going on with life unintentionally. And medicine itself is going towards an individualized treatment where one size fits all cannot work anymore, and it does not work anymore because technology has come where we understand the DNA, the genetics. So we are going to go towards where it's individualized, and that's where I think everything is going to stem through. So we have to understand that we are individuals, even in the same house, the same sisters, brothers, family, we are a little bit different. Our emotions, our thoughts, what's going on in our brain, and our beliefs. And that's what makes us. And as a practitioner, that's what I realize, and that's what I get into to understand. I started this business 25 years ago, got into the health and food industry in the US. Of course, I was in tune. My passion is to teach people, to help people. And this was one of the routes. And I just like working with people. But, understanding the supplement industry was great. I became a nutritionist. I was dealing with clients, but I still was missing something where, this can't be the only thing. Meaning, if someone is not taking supplements, if someone is not buying these supplements, if someone is not on a regimen, they're not going to have perfect health. They don't have good health. But how did our ancestors do it? How do our parents do it? My parents never took supplements until, of course, I started giving them. But they're in the 80s, and I'm sure a lot of you have parents and siblings or relatives who are, living a great life. But what is that? So that's where it took me a journey to figure myself out, figure my journey, my emotions, my, makeup. How do I relate to this life? And that's what brought me to the Cosmos and the Cosmic Mike Show. So my understanding, 4 fundamental aspects of our life. And if we all understand this, we have a bigger grasp. Looking on the over, it's just like you coming out of the earth and looking down on the earth, what's happening and who am I and what am I doing? First and foremost, our duty as a son, a human being, a relative, a sibling. Creating wealth is very important in our life because, again, stress plays a big role in understanding what our health is. And that's, science has proven it, but this was proven 5,000 years ago. If we are stressed, that's why our ancestors and fathers were not as stressful as we are in our daily lives. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get more because we are bombarded with all these things. How do we manage that? And that's what creates. And wealth is one of those biggest problems, biggest issues everybody goes through. I've gone through, I've been going through, I'm sure you are, everyone is. And taking the right action, meaning what do I need to do next? In my finances, in my relationships, in my health, in everyday life. And then of course, the spiritual liberation, where I need to understand what is beyond all this, what is beyond what I am, what I'm doing, my business, my work, my relatives, my family, what is beyond that? And that's why when you come out of the earth and look down, why am I here? So that's the journey I went through. And I think these are the 4 fundamental aspects. And so what I decided that I'm going to be working on in 3 goals throughout my life. And that's going to be basically family, fitness, and freedom. Family, being with my siblings, being with my family, having good relationships with everyone, my coworkers, my friends, all that. And all that goes up and down. It's just the daily work that I need to do. Fitness, that deals with diet, my body, my health, all that incorporates supplements, everything. And freedom of time and money, because we all are looking in to having that time that I can spend and do my passions and work with my family or be with my family. But we cannot buy time. We cannot earn time. We can earn money. So freedom of time and money is very essential. We have to understand that it's very essential in our life, in our health, and everything that we do. Okay? So these are the goals. These are the Ayurvedic goals. As a matter of fact, they understood this 5,000 years ago. Desire is what's brought us here. We are evolving human beings. If we don't have a desire, we won't be here. We won't have these computers, these web, Zoom, and all that. It's someone thought about it, someone had a desire, and that's where we are. So desire is very, very important in our life. Understanding. And the ego, which that's what brings me, I am. And once we understand the ego, we understand who I am and why am I here, we're able to create those steps for us. And that's my success, coming forth and going forth, teaching people, understanding, learning a lot more, not only in the health aspect, but also relationships, family. And those, again, 3 things that I'm going to be working throughout my life, my rest of my whatever years I have left, is those 3 things, just managing those all throughout. And the 3 pillars we want to get to, this whole thing is all about what are those 3 pillars? The spirit, the mind, and of course the body. We are made of these 3 important things. The spirit is what confirms the mind. It tells exactly the mind, meaning your spirit that's coming through you, your soul, your God, whatever that you feel that is within you. And that's what's bringing and telling the mind, which is the calculative, which is the one, it's the consciousness that tells the body what to do. So your belief is very important to tell the mind, and then the mind directs the body exactly what I need to do. Even what's going on that is on automation, meaning the cells are moving, the digestion is happening, the systems are working, everything. Now there's disease coming, that means we're not tuned in to the right wave. We're not telling from the goal, from our spirit, what's really happening. So understanding that I am just not that human being. It doesn't matter what culture, what race, what country, where am I from? I am this spiritual being. Whatever religion you are this spiritual being. There's something inside that's stronger than my physical being that gives me this strength, that gives me this to do everything that I need to understand. The brain is what gives me the ability to make choices. And what choices I make, what choices I do, helps me direct my body, my health, everything. So we have to understand that and kind of see the spirit confirms the mind and the body directs, and the mind directs the body as it's taken. So once we understand that, we are able to take those right steps. It doesn't matter the right diet, the supplement, the exercise, whatever it is, there's a reason why we're doing this, right? So health, and what is health? Health is just it's a perfect state of balance between these 3. Again, it's a balance, it's a journey, because it's not going to happen overnight. It's a daily fight with these 3 things: our body, our mind, our spirit, our beliefs. The mind, what are the choices that we're going to make? That's why they say, hear no evil, see no evil, talk no evil. Basically, you're setting up that mind from those senses to create the perfect mind so it can direct the body the perfect way, right? It's a balance, and it's an everyday journey. It's not a destination. We cannot reach that perfect health. It's going to decline due to age, due to the days, due to my emotions, due to things I eat, due to the things what I feel and touch. And if I fall, if I have an accident, hot, cold, if I get burned. So it's an everyday kind of journey that we are going through. So it's not just about diet, exercise, and supplements. It's not just about the body. It's about the mind and your belief, your spirit. And in this, I cannot go deep into every one of them, but understanding the life cycle, we all go through this cycle. The plants do, the universe has. We understand that now, that we're not the only thing that's there, the cosmos that's behind me. We all go through this cycle. So understanding where we are in this cycle, it's dependent on where and what I should be doing, what I should be taking care of. Understanding the cosmos is very essential because it brings the elements, the energies, and the qualities. Once we understand this, and I'll talk in basic terms on how we understand this, how we are related and with this environment. The herbs, exactly the same elements that make us up, the cosmos, the plants, and the herbs, and the food. So once we understand how they are made up, how we are made up, and how we can combine, and when I should what, that's the goal. Even the mind is made from those elements, from those energies, from those qualities. First basics, the 5 elements. 5 elements in the cosmos, in space, within us, on the earth, on the plants, in the herbs, everything that we do. These are the 5 elements. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of these: air, fire, water, earth, space. Everything is made of these elements. And once we understand these elements, we are able to manipulate what is missing and bring that through food, diet, exercise, mindset, beliefs, everything.
Wave Beats music.
So the basis of the full physical world, the cosmos, is dependent on these 5 elements. And every cell, every tissue, organ is made up of these elements. Fire is the digestion. Water is the water that we have. We have 70% water in our body. The blood, that's water. Earth is the bones, the solid structure, the heaviness that comes in, the depression that's in our mind that brings us heaviness. So if I'm going to be depressed and I'm eating heavier foods, heavier things, then obviously I'm going to get more into that depression. So when I'm depressed, when I'm heavy, feeling heavy, I want to eat lighter foods. Just like we eat a bowl of rice at night. Nighttime is already a heavy period of the day where I'm ready to go to sleep. My melatonin is going up. But if I eat very spicy, very aggressive things or caffeine, now my stimulating fire is coming up. So I'm doing the opposite. Of course, I want to be awake. So you have to understand what day, time, everything comes with time and day. And all these elements are dependent on time, your months, all that is there. Once we understand this, space, that's the space, is just the space that's within us. Our, digestive system, the colon, the blood vessels, they have something that's going through. And air, of course. Without air, we cannot live. Merely a few minutes. That's the most important thing that we have, and we forget. We just breathe these shallow breaths while we're talking, but we never take a deep breath. And there are 3 layers of the body. There's the physical layer, which is the tissues, organs, and the bones. That's where everything that we relate to, science relates to. But there is also a functional layer, which is the energetic layer, because it tells the organs what exactly to do, which is, of course, the vascular system, the digestive system, the urinary system. Each one knows exactly what to do. So there is something beyond that physical that's telling these organs exactly what to do. And once we understand, and once we believe that, I think you can avoid any of these chronic issues. I think you can avoid a lot of those issues. And you have seen people have gone through cancer and, big things in their lives, and they have come across, they've come through, no matter what the doctors have said, no matter who has said. So it's essential to understand. Once we understand these deeper, I'm just giving you an overall picture. Now, the 3rd layer is the caution, which is the divine, the intelligence, and our soul and our spirit, which tells these systems, which tells these things, which tells the cell exactly what to do. When we have a virus, the cell knows, the white blood cells knows exactly where to go, who to hit. Where is that coming from? Obviously, there's no chip in us at the physical hardware, but there is some intelligence which we still cannot understand. So if you can tune in, and believe that, listen, I can improve myself, I can cure myself, I can take care of myself. Once that belief is there, then the mind sets the right direction towards the body, towards our habits, towards our action. And the energies, as we spoke, the functional layer or the organs have this energy, and there are three basic energies which is governed by all the universe, the cosmos, and our bodies, and all the plants, everything, which you guys might have heard of: Vata, Pitta, Kapha. I'm just going to go quickly with them, just to understand. Vata, of course, is again these elements. That's what it's made of. It has these properties that is subtle, it's light. So when we have these three energies as we are born, in our mind, in our emotions, in our physical being, we're able to understand when these are off, we use the other to offset. And this changes on a daily basis. It changes with night and day. It changes with our life cycle, and it changes with the seasons. So when we understand where we are, you're tuned into the body. What is meditation? What is yoga? It's all about tuning into this, not everything outside. We're tuned in to everything outside. I'm also, we always did, we all are, because we're bombarded with all these things. We forget what's here. This is the goal. This is the goal. This is the God. This is the energy. This is the magic. We already have the magic. We just have to meditate. We just have to sit silently and understand and realize and listen to it. And that's where the soft voices come, where your gut tells you exactly what to do. Your gut tells you which direction to go. So listening in school and in our daily life, what we are taught is just listen to the mind. We're not listening to this. And that's where it changes your life, not only your health, not only your finances, in your relationship, in everything. And you can see these are elements. They're made of these basic elements. Again, if this is off, there's too much ether in my system or in my gut or in my colon, then I'm going to use the other to digest. What does fire do? Fire digests and breaks down the tissue. So the subtle body is basically these energies, and it's throughout our cosmos, throughout all the energies are dependent. All the food is dependent. All the foods have these energies. So we take that food. If I'm a higher Pitta, which is basically fire, if I'm angry all the time, if I'm really aggressive, then I need some of those pacifying food which have Vata and Kapha in there to pacify me. I need those Kapha actions like sleeping or just meditation to offset that fire within me. So the fire is not only in your digestive system, it's not only in the sun, which is our biggest Pitta there in our universe, in our solar system. We cannot do too much of the sun, we'll get burnt. That's why the water is there to pacify. So everything is the opposite and is there to pacify. These are the qualities also. Each one has a quality which we are very familiar with, but we forget. And everything, the star, the mountain, the mood, your food, and you realize that each has these qualities. And they are opposites, basically. Heavy, light, dull, sharp. So if I'm dull, I need something sharp to offset me. If I'm cold, I need something warm or hot to offset me. So if I'm in a cold weather, if I'm in a cold situation, would I be eating ice cream? Would I be eating anything cold or frozen? No, I'd be taking warmer stuff. And that's what we do. We do the opposite. So we have to understand, what is my situation? Where am I? And of course, as a practitioner, I understand that deeper because we have taught, I've learned, and I've kind of experienced, and I've dealt with a lot of clients. But you could do the basics at your home, in your daily life, to understand where you are, if you understand these qualities. And they're basic qualities. You look at this: oily, dry. If my skin is dry, what do I put? Oil. If inside of me is dry, what do I take? I eat more fats. It does not matter what science is bringing. Yes, science is going deeper. Hey, this cell goes with this. Yes, but if my joints are hurting, obviously it's dry. They're like fracking. So we need a little more oil or fat in our diet. And that's what this explains. So understanding where everything comes from is where it's important. The 5 sense organs, each one again has these elements. Our sense organs of the ear, the touch, the sight, and the taste. Very important in understanding what we are eating, our taste buds, what we are listening to. Exactly. Some music fires us up. Some music gets us mellow. So if I'm in a very aggressive mode, if I'm in a very stressful mode, I need something to calm me and to cheer me, right? So we use the opposite, and we can use that music. I mean, we have these resources, which our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors did not have the resources we have.